Hello everyone, good day. So this is Miss Ivy. So today we will be discussing the first chapter of our lesson in the fundamentals of accounting, which is entitled Introduction to Accounting. Okay, so in chapter 1, we will be discussing the description of accounting, of course, the accounting process, the nature of accounting, functions of accounting, and the history of accounting. So, if you would remember, last time I asked you to think of a business that you would like to establish in the future and why would you want to, right? So, actually, in reality, there are a lot of existing businesses, not just in the Philippines but around the world. So I know that you are already familiar with some of the businesses kasi yung iba na-encounter naman natin from day-to-day basis or yung iba sa atin mahilig mag-order online or nababrowse natin sa internet or minsan napupuntahan natin siya. Okay? So mga businesses, may mga iba't ibang klase yan. So, merong mga negosyo like damit, like restaurants, may mga negosyo like education, okay? So, napakaraming klase ng negosyo na nag-i-exist, hindi lang sa buong Pilipinas, kundi sa buong mundo. Pero, ano nga ba yung sikreto ng mga businesses na yan? Why are they still in the game? Or bakit nga ba sila nananatili sa pagnenegosyo? Ano yung mga top secrets nila? So before we proceed to that, I know that you are already familiar with some of the businesses or some of these top businesses in the world. So unang-una nga dyan si Microsoft. Okay, si Microsoft, siya yung gumawa ng mga software natin sa laptop, sa phones, and etc. Okay? So we also have Apple, Facebook, Tencent, Amazon, Alibaba, Berkshire Hathaway, Alphabet, JP Morgan Chase, and Visa. So, in the last 2019 survey, so sila yung pinaka-top businesses in the world. So, ang tagal-tagal na nila in business and still hanggang ngayon, tinatangkilik pa rin sila ng mga consumers nila. How about in the Philippines? So ano naman yung mga top businesses dito sa Pilipinas? Meron tayong Ayala. Are you familiar with Ayala? So Ayala is owned by the Villars. So yung mga real estate properties. So sa Ayala yan. So we also have Costco Capital, GT Capital, JG Summit Holdings, Jollibee, ang favorite ng lahat, of course. Made in the Philippines talaga yan. Mega World, San Miguel Food and Beverage Incorporated, SM Investments Corporation. Okay? So, ayan yung mga top businesses natin in the world and in the Philippines. Pero ano nga talaga ba yung sikreto nila? Bakit hanggang ngayon lumalago pa ng lumalago yung business nila? Ano ba yung ginagawa nilang process? Or ano ba yung secret nila para ma-achieve nila yung end goal nila, which is to earn profit, not just earn profit, but to earn more profit. So, dahil yan sa, of course, accounting. Okay? So, ayan, nakakuha na agad tayo ng idea kung ano ba talaga ang purpose ng accounting sa buhay natin. Okay? So, actually, ang accounting, it is defined by various organizations, accounting organizations in the world and in the Philippines as well. Pero in broad sense, ano ba talaga si accounting? Accounting in general is a system that helps businesses track transactional events that affect them. That is according to Florendo 2016. How about the specific definition of accounting by other organizations? So according to Accounting Standards Council, Accounting is a service activity. So its function is to provide quantitative information, primarily financial in nature, about economic entities that is intended to be useful in making economic decisions. So in short, ang accounting, ginagawa siya or pinaperform siya ng mga certified public accountants or even yung mga licensed bookkeepers para magamit sa pag-create ng strategic economic decisions. So later we will discuss what are the different kinds of economic activities. So another definition of accounting according to Financial Accounting Standards Board in 1978, accounting is an information system that measures, processes, and communicates financial information about an economic entity. So bakit nasabing information system? Kasi it gathered data regarding monetary transactions ng isang kumpanya. So lahat ng mga may involved sa pera, nire-record yan ng mga businesses. So that is already an information system. So accounting is creating an information system. Parang storage siya ng financial information. So another. So according to American Institute of Certified Public Accountants, in 1970, accounting is the process of identifying, measuring, and communicating economic information to permit informed judgments and decisions by users of the information. So, ang accounting, hindi lang siya ginagawa para lang sa may-ari ng negosyo. Kasi yung sinasabi dito na users of information, napakaraming po pwedeng gumamit ng accounting. Pero not all details will be disclosed. For example, si employee, okay, kinakailangan niya rin ng financial information ng company para malaman niya kung kaya ba siyang pa-sweldohin. Or si government, kinakailangan niya ng accounting information ng isang business para malaman niya kung malaki ba ang kinikita na ng isang business na to at dapat ba siyang singilin ng corresponding taxes. Okay? So, meron siyang proseso. Hindi lang siya basta-basta ginagawa or nire-record. We follow certain procedures para makapag-create tayo ng informed judgments and decisions. Ano pa? So, according to American Institute of Certified Public Accountants, accounting is the art of recording, classifying, and summarizing in a significant manner. And in terms of money, transactions, and events which are in part at least of a financial character and interpreting the results thereof. So meaning in short, ang accounting, ginagawa natin yan o nagre-record tayo, we follow certain procedures if there is a money involved. Kaya nga in terms of money and in part at least of a financial character. Meaning, kapag walang financial involvement or walang kinalaman sa financial matters ng isang negosyo, more or less, hindi siya matatawag na accounting. So, for you, para sa'yo, ano ba talaga ang accounting? Well, for me, I defined accounting by following the accounting procedures. So, for me, accounting is a systematic process of identifying as well. And not just identifying, we also need to analyze, to record, to classify, and to summarize economic events in terms of money again for the users of financial information and also to be used it for future decision making. Okay? So as I've mentioned on that definition, the different accounting process are 6. These are as follows: to identify, to analyze, to record, to classify, to summarize, and to communicate. So let's move on to the first one, to the first process of accounting. So, ma'am, ano po ba yung dapat nating i-identify na economic events? Yung kanina pa nating sinasabi na relevant economic events. Paano ba natin masasabi siya? Again, sabi nga sa note natin, to be considered as a relevant economic event, there should be a transfer that involves money. So, there should be a monetary value. Yung transfer ng transaction natin or yung pagkakaroon ng isang transaction sa business, dapat laging may financial matters. So, these are the examples. Halimbawa, kung kayo ay mahilig mag-milk tea, let's say nagtayo kayo ng sarili nyong milk tea shop at nakabenta kayo. So, meaning, kapag nakabenta kayo, pwedeng makatanggap kayo ng pera or pwedeng merong perang involved doon kasi nagbenta kayo. Tama? So, since there is a financial information involved or there is a money involved in the transaction, that could be referred as the economic event. Okay? Oops, sorry. Another, provision of services by a school teachers. Kunwari ako, si ma'am, nagturo ako sa inyo ngayon. So, do the school pay me a salary? Binabayaran ba ako ng school? Yes. Okay, so because I work for the school and the school pays me money. Ang pinagkaiba lang is, ang OMSC kasi, it's not a pure private. So, semi-private, semi-public kasi tayo. So, ang mga private schools, yung mga school teachers doon, it is considered as a business. Kasi private sila, they are not owned by the government. So, yung sweldo na natatanggap nila, sorry, ay there is a money involved. So, therefore, yung transaction na ito, itong economic event, itong transaction nga na ito ay consider natin as economic event kasi may money involved pa rin. So, how about this one? Payment to suppliers. So, halimbawa, sa milk tea shop mo, syempre kailangan mo ng powder, ng milk, ng tea, ng tapioca, and everything na gagamitin mo sa paggawa ng isang milk tea. So, bibili ka ngayon kay supplier. Syempre, the moment na binayaran mo si supplier, there is already money involved, right? So, it is also considered as economic event. Always remember that there should be a transfer that involves money. Last one, purchase of equipment for making a shoe. So, sa paggawa ng sapatos, meron tayong machine na ginagamit, di ba? Or makina para pagtahi ng sapatos. Okay? So, yung pagbili mo ulit ng equipment na yon, it is also considered as economic event because there is a money involved. So, as simple as that. As long as there is a money involved or there is a transfer that involves money, you could easily identify what economic event is that or if that is an economic event. Okay? So, let's move on to the next one. So, the second process of accounting is to analyze. Okay? So, after identifying the certain economic event, you are now going to analyze ano ba yung mga elements na dinedetermine ng isang economic event para malaman mo kung ano yung ire-record mo sa journal, yung sa libro na tinatawag natin sa accounting. So, key points in analyzing economic events. Example, ayan, what accounts will be affected? So, mababawasan ba ang pera ko kapag bumili ako dito? Madadagdagan ba ang benta ko? Okay? So, hindi lang kasi siya puro about cash. So, sa isang negosyo, pwede kang magkaroon ng utang. So, pag utang, there is a money involved, pero you do not pay cash kasi nangutang ka. Or either yung customer mo nangutang sa'yo, wala kang na-receive na cash. Pero, merong transaction ng pera. Kasi later on, pwedeng bayaran ka niya, pwedeng bayaran mo siya. Tama? Okay? Ayan, is there cash involved? Hindi, not necessarily na kapag walang cash involved, hindi na siya economic event. It can be still referred as economic event as long as there will be future payments or receivables na dapat kang matanggap o na dapat kang bayaran. Okay? So note, it is important to carefully analyze each event to avoid misallocation of monetary value and produce a valid financial information to users. Yun yung kasi nagkakaroon ng problema. Halimbawa, si Aling Bebang ng Sari-Sari Store. Nag-record siya na nangutang kunwari yung kapitbahay niya ng isang pirasong candy. Hindi binayaran si candy. Ni-record niya ngayon doon sa kanyang notebook na may nabenta siyang isang pirasong candy. Okay? Pero nung nagbibilang siya ng pera, kulang ng piso. Hinahanap niya ngayon saan nanggaling si piso or saan nagkulang, bakit walang piso. So nakita niya, meron palang kulang na bayad yung kapitbahay niya na bumili ng candy. So yun yung sinasabi natin, kailangan i-analyze natin siya maigi para ma-avoid natin yung misallocation. Kasi pwedeng matanggap mo pa yung piso na yon. Kaya kulang yung pera na nakalagay sa kaha mo. Right? So next one, record. Recording relevant economic event is the third step in the accounting process. This serves as the history of financial activities in the business organization. Further, records of events should be done systematically and chronologically for easier tracking and interpretation. These events are usually recorded in the business accounting books. So sabi nga natin kanina, kapag na-identify mo na yung isang transaction kung yun ay may kinalaman sa money at na-analyze mo na kung may pera bang involved doon or nakabenta ka ba, so i-record na natin siya ngayon sa accounting books na tinatawag natin. So what are the things to remember? Kasi nga sabi natin kanina, 'di ba, that accounting is an information system. Kasi nga it serves as the history of financial activities. Kung yung iba hindi inaalala ang past, dito sa accounting kailangan nating alalahanin ang mga nangyari nung past. Ayan, okay? So, ano ba yung dapat nating tandaan para ma-record natin ng tama? The value of accounts to be recorded should be equal. So, dapat laging balance. Hindi po pwedeng may discrepancy or merong kulang. Dapat laging balance. Parang ganito yan eh. Kunwari, crush mo siya, dapat ba mag-crush back siya? Kasi pag hindi siya nag-crush back sa'yo, ibig sabihin, hindi siya balance. Okay? So, next naman, a single transaction can affect more than 2 accounts per entry. So, later we will discuss how a single transaction can affect more than 2 accounts per entry. So, note, recording economic events in the accounting book can be done manually. Pwedeng isulat lang natin sa notebook. It can be electronically or system-based. Alright? So, kung sino ba nakapunta na sa inyo sa grocery store? Kung halimbawa nakapunta na kayo sa grocery store, di ba kung mapapansin natin, when we pay sa cashier, tinatap lang nila yung barcode sa scanner. Okay? So, yung process na yun, ng pag-record nila ng kanilang transaction or na kanilang benta is system-based. Kasi meron silang existing system na naka-install. Yung electronically naman na ito, pwede itong use of Microsoft Excel. Manually mo rin siyang ginagawa, pero using the different programs on your computer na pwede natin pag-encodean or pag-recordan ng ating mga transactions sa business. Okay? So let's move on to the fourth one. So fourth is to classify. So classifying accounts in the recorded economic events comes that is a typographical error. So events is essential to distinguish value of each account. This is to quantify accounts ending balances appropriate to its account category. It can be classified by listing it to the account ledger or T accounts. Okay? So tips in classifying accounts in the Journal of Economic Events. Identify the account category. Yan. So, paano natin siya maklasify? So, halimbawa, na-record na natin siya. Ngayon, ika-classify naman natin para makuha natin. Kumbaga, pagsasama-samahin natin yung magkakaparehas. Halimbawa, bumili tayo sa palengke. May binili tayong prutas, gulay, isda, and etc. Ngayon, iba't ibang klase ng prutas at iba't ibang klase ng gulay. So, ang gagawin natin, isa-segregate natin siya based doon sa kanyang uri. So, kung gulay, ipagsasama-sama natin lahat ng gulay. Kung prutas, ipagsasama-sama natin lahat ng prutas. Kung yan ay isda o karne, ipagsasama-sama natin silang lahat. So, ganun din sa accounting. Lahat na magkakaparehas na uri ng account, ipagsasama natin yan sila. At bawat isang account na yun, kukunin natin yung ending balances niya. Okay? So, halimbawa, meron kang baon. So, for example na lang is cash. Pinakamadaling kasi example ang cash. Halimbawa, meron kang baon. Binigyan ka ng baon ng mama mo na 50 pesos allowance a day. So, si 50 pesos, hindi lang siya natapos ng 50 pesos sa buong isang araw. Kasi may binili kang pagkain. Bumili ka ng favorite mong isaw. O kaya bumili ka ng perfume na binibenta ni classmate na halagang 10 pesos. Diba? Ganun siya kamura. So, may natira ka pang pera. So, yung ending balance na yun, sa pagtapos ng isang buong araw, ganun natin siya gagawin. Okay? Ika-classify natin siya. Kung yung cash lang, halimbawa, lahat ng mga nangyari dun sa cash mo, naka-record yan sa accounting book mo o kaya sa notebook mo para malaman mo ilan na lang yung natitira mong baon. Okay? So note, classifying each account requires the masterpiece of principles and standards to recognize truthful and faithful financial representation. So kailangan para maklasify mo ng maayos yung bawat accounts, dapat alam natin or may masterpiece dapat tayo ng iba't ibang accounting principles and standards. Kasi sa accounting, magkamali ka ng isa, lahat apektado na. Okay? So, dapat, bawat galaw natin, tama yung ire-record natin para hindi tayo magkamali. Okay? At hindi mabawasan yung income natin kasi it will affect your income or your profit. So, fifth, to summarize. So, since naipon na natin lahat ng accounts, nakuha nyo na yung ending balances, okay? So, we will now prepare a summary that is for a specific period. So, ang company kasi may iba't ibang klaseng periods. Depende sa kung ano yung style nila. Pwede kasing annually. Actually, may mga private firms na annually. Pero most of the government firms, meron tayong iba't ibang uri. Like monthly, buwan-buwan natin siyang gagawin. Or pwedeng semi-annually, quarterly, at annually. Okay? So, pagsasama-samahin na natin siya sa isang accounting report na tinatawag nating financial statements. Okay? So, all information recorded and classified during the desired period are lumped together to provide meaningful and presentable financial report. Kasi kung magulo siya, kung kalat-kalat siya, hindi siya maiintindihan ng magbabasa ng accounting book mo. So, syempre, kailangan pagsasama-samahin natin lahat ng information, para kapag isang basa lang ng financial report mo or ng financial statements ng business nyo, mas madali siyang makita kung saan doon nagkamali or saan yung may kulang or gaano ba kaganda yung progress ng isang negosyo. And of course, after we summarize the financial report, we will now communicate that to the external and internal users. Okay? So, para saan? Bakit nila gagamitin yung financial report or financial information ng business? Sa internal user, particularly sa management, they can use that for decision making. Pero sabi ko nga sa inyo kanina, for employees naman, kailangan nila makita yung kita ng company kung kaya pa ba silang pasweldohin. For the government side naman, kailangan nila makita yung financial information or financial report para malaman nila kung nagbabayad ba ng tama na buwis yung isang negosyo. Alright, so reports are communicated to its users to strategically formulate future decisions that will further improve business standing in the long run. Okay? Kadalasan, nababankrupt ang isang negosyo because either may fraud, okay? May fraud na nagawa or hindi na-check ng maayos ang isang financial report. So now let's move on to the nature of accounting. So we're done already with the different processes. Again, we will review. So we have to identify, to analyze, to record, to classify, to summarize, and to communicate. Now, in the nature of accounting, ano ba talaga si accounting in nature or by nature? So we have first one. Yan, sorry, naghang. It is a process. It is an art. It deals with money. It is a means and not an end. And of course, sabi nga natin kanina, accounting is also an information system. Why do we refer to accounting as a process? So accounting is a process as it follows a step-by-step procedures that aims to target a common business goal. So sabi natin kanina, we follow step-by-step. Diba? Sabi natin, ang accounting, it is a chronologically and systematically prepared yung financial report natin. So example na lang, purchasing your favorite item in Shopee. So I know that some of you are Shopee lovers. Salamat Shopee! Yan, di ba? And Lazada may involve adding to cart. So first step nila, mag-add ka sa cart. Proceed to checkout, choose delivery options, payment of purchase, and order confirmation. So these are the samples when you buy an item online. Step by step siya. So likewise, accounting follows and performs functions mentioned earlier with the goal of providing useful financial information to internal and external stakeholders. Kung kanina ang goal mo, basta makabili ka kay Shopee at Lazada, so bago ka makabili, dadaan ka sa mga procedures, ganun din sa accounting. Bago ka makagawa ng isang report, dadaan ka sa procedures. So next, accounting is an art. So according to Florendo 2016, art refers to a way of performing something, meaning it demands a skill and knowledge to attain a certain objectives. Kasi nga, sabi nga natin sa accounting, nagpa-follow tayo ng procedures eh. Sa pag-follow ng procedures, dapat meron kang kaalaman, marunong kang dumiskarte, or marunong kang mag-provide, or meron kang expertise to provide truthful representation of financial reports. Because example, as a seller, you analyze and record business sales every now and then. So, lahat ng kita mo, syempre, pag nagnanegosyo ka, very conscious ka sa kinikita, di ba? So, these tasks are not as easy as you may think it is. Hindi siya ganun kadali. It needs presence of mind kasi dapat lahat ng benta mo ngayon, may record mo. Kung wala kang presence of mind at nakalimutan mo mag-record, pwedeng maging dahilan yon ng ikakalugi ng negosyo mo. And also you need to have the ability to accomplish all accounting process in order to quantify para mabilang yung total amount ng sales na kinita mo sa isang period. Again, dapat merong skills, knowledge, and expertise. Another, accounting deals with financial information and transactions. As being said, accounting deals only with transactions and events relevant to financial matters or with monetary value. So example again, kagaya din nung kanina na sinabi natin, laging nagre-record dapat ng financial information. Okay? And next, accounting is a means and not an end. Accounting is said to be a tool to achieve specific objectives numerous times in the previous discussion. It is not the objectives itself. Kasi when you have accounting, ibig sabihin, every now and then, we need to compute and prove that we are earning money. Because if not, that is the end, not just by the accounting process, but also by your business. So when you engage in accounting or uh, when you follow accounting procedures, dapat continuous siya. Na dapat makita natin sa financial report na kumikita ang negosyo. Pero that doesn't mean na ifo-fraud natin, dadayain natin yung report para laging kikita. Okay? Hindi naman necessarily ganon. Pero dapat, kapag nag-dream tayo ng isang bagay, dapat continuous yung effort natin para ma-achieve natin yon. Halimbawa, gusto mong pumunta sa dream destination mo or sa dream country mo in the future, like Paris, Korea, o gusto mo local tayo like Boracay, Baguio, Tagaytay, di ba? So, ang accounting para siyang eroplano na dadalhin ka dun sa desired dream mo or dun sa gusto mong objectives. So, syempre sa business, ginagamit natin si accounting kasi ang negosyo, ang pinaka-aim niyan is to earn profit. So, ginagamit natin si accounting para i-prove natin na kumikita talaga ang negosyo. Okay? So, next, accounting is an information system. So, how? Accounting is acknowledged and regarded as a storehouse of financial information. So, sabi ko nga kanina, ang accounting para siyang bodega na nilalagyan natin ng lahat ng mga nangyari sa negosyo na may kinalaman sa pera. Okay? So, how about yung functions? Ang dami naman, ma'am. Bakit ang dami? So, kasi, ang accounting, hindi lang siya nag-evolve as it is, no? So, dapat alam natin lahat ng pinanggalingan or yung mga pwede natin pang malaman para magamit natin sa future reference natin. So, how about the functions? Paulit-ulitin natin sinasabi, dapat systematic. So, it needs to protect as well properties. It needs to be communicated. And it should meet legal requirements. So, again, yung systematic, dapat we follow certain procedures na maiintindihan ng readers. Okay? If not, this financial information provide little to no value. Okay? So, how about yung protecting ng properties natin? Kasi, sabi natin kanina, we need to go back dun sa mga nangyari. Babalikan natin yung history, kung ano yung mga kinita mo sa isang buwan o sa isang certain period, sa isang period. At doon, makikita natin, yun yung evidence sa isang buwan na kinita mo. Okay? For example na lang ito. The financial records serve as the evidence of businesses to know if a property do exist or how much resource does a business have. If the records show 500,000 in the business cash, any excess deficiency will be identified immediately. Kung meron bang kulang, kasi halimbawa, bumili ka ng sapatos. Ang sapatos ay nagkakahalaga ng 100,000. Personal mo yon. Ngayon, kinompute mo lahat ng mga pag-aari mo. Nakita mo dun wala yung value ng sapatos or nakalagay lang sa value ng sapatos kung nabili mo siya ng 1K, nakalagay lang dun 200. So, ibig sabihin, meron na agad deficiency. Or, pwedeng sumobra naman. Kaya, ang accounting information system, it helps the business in preventing employee fraud. Pwede kasing dayain. And misappropriation of business resources. So, dapat gagamitin lang siya for business use. Kadalasan sa mga negosyo kasi, pag halimbawa isa lang ang may-ari, minsan nagagamit sa bahay. So, kapag nagamit sa bahay, hindi na siya pag-aari ng negosyo. So, dapat hindi na siya naka-record sa accounts ng negosyo. So, ganun lang siya. So, it needs to protect properties of businesses kasi para malaman natin ano pa yung mga resources or tama ba yung pag-allocate ng amount sa isang resource ng business. Okay? Again, we need to communicate results to various parties, just like what I've said earlier, yung government agencies, mga potential investors, and even management in their decision-making functions. How about the legal requirements? So in the Philippines, the government requires some companies, particularly those with public accountability, to provide financial reports. And sinasabi ko kanina, quarterly, semi-annually, or annually. So this procedure aims to protect the public by providing them the necessary information to make sound decisions. Para makita. Halimbawa, sa isang government ginagamit naman ang accounting sa government not for profit purposes, but to disclose para maging transparent sa mga tao, sa mga taxpayers, kung saan ba napupunta yung perang binabayad nila for tax. Okay? So, saan ba talaga nagsimula si accounting? How do accounting started? Paano siya nag-start? So, it is believed na ang accounting nagsimula daw yan even nung ancient periods pa. Okay? So, pwedeng during the Mesopotamia period, the reign of Emperor Augustus, Lucia Pacioli in the 14th century, and Queen Victoria in the 19th century. So, ano ba yung mga naging contribution niya sa evolution ng accounting na ginagamit natin even up to this day? So, sa Mesopotamia period, it is where people followed a system of writing and counting money. So, nung time na yon, nagbibilang pa lang at nagsusulat lang ng pera. Ganun lang ginagamit si accounting. So, ang development ng accounting po pwedeng ma-relate daw noon sa taxation and trading activities of temples. Okay? Yung mga buwis na binabayaran ng mga tao regarding do sa mga temples na meron nung Mesopotamia period. How about naman during the reign of Emperor Augustus? So ito medyo nag-evolve kasi yung Roman government, it has detailed financial information of the deeds ng Emperor Augustus regarding the stewardship of Roman resources. Ibig sabihin, si Emperor ang nagmamanage ng mga resources ng Roman government or ng Roman people. Okay? So during his time, this includes the rationarium or yung account which listed public revenue. So lahat ng mga pinagagamitan ng pera ng government niya, like yung mga public revenues ngayong kinikita, yung amount of cash dun sa treasury or in the tax officials and in the hands of the public contractors. This is also for the transparency of reports na ipapakita niya syempre sa mga Romans nung time niya. Okay? How about naman nung time ni Luca Pacioli in the 14th century? Ito yung may pinakamagandang ambag sa panahon sa history ng accounting kasi sabi nga si Luca Pacioli daw na-consider siya as father of modern accounting kasi dahil dun sa idea niya na nagbigay talaga ng greatest impact sa accounting history which is the double entry bookkeeping. So yung double entry bookkeeping, it is a system that has debit and a credit for each transaction. So later on, maglalaro tayo ng debit credit na yan para makita natin kung paano siya nag-e-evolve or paano siya nakakatulong sa pag-record natin ng mga accounts. So, this system is being used even up to this day. So, even hanggang ngayon, ginagamit pa rin siya. Kaso, very rare na siguro yung gumagamit ng manual. More on electronic na kasi. Okay? Pero, in order for us to understand muna ang accounting, we need to start with the traditional one bago tayo mag-move on doon sa mga sa makabagong sistema ng pagre-record natin. Sa kagaya ng sinabi ko kanina, yung electronic at yung system-based. Okay? So, how about nung time naman ni Queen Victoria in the 19th century? So, modern profession of the chartered accountant rather, originated in Scotland during her time when she granted a royal charter to the Institute of Accountants in Glasgow. Okay, so during her time rather, accounting standards are already available to guide accountants in their practice of profession even today. So, ang purpose nun, nung time ni Queen Victoria, doon dahil nag-start yung group or organization ng mga accountants, doon nag-start yung pag-formulate ng mga accounting standards na ginagamit natin even up to this day. So, actually, aside dito sa Philippines na setting, we also have standards internationally. So, na ginagamit natin international. Pero since we are in the Philippines muna, so we need to follow the PFRS and PAS or the Philippine Financial Reporting Standards and Philippine Accounting Standards, especially if your business transacts only in the Philippines. Pero, if we have connections na internationally, of course, we need to follow certain protocols na ginagamit ng international accounting standards, and so on and so forth. Okay? So, ganun lang kadali yung pinanggalingan or ganun lang kasimple yung pinanggalingan ng accounting natin. Nag-start tayo during the Mesopotamia period ng reign of Emperor Augustus at yung pinakamalaking event sa history ng accounting during Luca Pacioli in the 14th century and during the Queen Victoria reign in the 19th century. Okay? So, that's all. We will have a little recap on our next meeting. So if you have questions and concerns, you may leave a comment on our SSA or Student Service Assistance group chat. And you may leave also a comment on our Facebook group. Okay? So I hope you understand the different definition, the different processes, the nature of accounting rather, and the functions of accounting, and of course, its history. Okay? So, see you again next week. Happy learning!